Guess who we are going to hang out with today? None other than Keith Andrews. I would call him the commercial property guru. How does that sound, huh, Keith?
That sounds awful. I
Well,
wouldn't know. No, I think I'm all about how do you succeed in sales. How's that sound?
ooh, I like that even more. I like that even more.
Yeah.
So this is a very casual deal. We're going to learn about about Keith, commercial properties, about sales, kind of the whole deal. We have about 20-ish minutes, and I say we get right to it. How's that sound?
Okay.
Well, Keith, by the way, the audience, as you probably know, they're entrepreneurs. Most of them are real estate investors. Most of them are commercial real estate investors. 93% of vastsolutionsgroup.com's clients are, real estate investors and really heavily into commercial real estate. And a lot of them are salespeople. They might have an operational company as well. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who Keith is, and we'll get right to it.
Well, I'm a young-looking older guy in Birmingham, Alabama, and my secret is I don't have any kids, so that keeps me looking young.
There you go.
Yep. Which means I don't have any grandkids either.
Mm.
So I've been doing this for about 18 years. It's my second career. My first career was telecommunications, and I graduated from locally in the cellular world back in the 80s all the way up to globally with interconnectivity of circuits around the world, things like that. Audio, video, internet, conferencing, whatever. And I was sitting in Charleston, South Carolina 18 years ago and 19 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So sometime later this year, it'll be 19 years I've been in real estate. I said, man, I'm done with telecom. I'm going to get that license. I was very fortunate. The very first things I got to work on being in Charleston and in the Carolinas was with a Spanish developer. He was doing projects in a couple of 3 or 4 other countries. So Mexico and Guatemala and Panama. And that was fun. That was my first foray into real estate, trying to promote all that stuff in the Carolinas, whatever. So fast forward to now, I'm very fortunate to be a part of I don't know what you call it, rocket ship commercial company that is growing globally. We've been around 3 years, 2.5 months. I was able to bring my crowd with me from some franchises I had to start this company. So we were like agents 1 through 7. I think we're up to about 757 agents at EXP Commercial now.
Wow.
In all 50 states. Our sister residential company, EXP Realty, brokerage there in 24 countries. It's kind of nice. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great rocket ride. We initiate technology only, or it's all about technology. And in our world, commercial world, there's too much of that going on out there. And you know that as well, Kenner. In the financial world, I guess there's a lot of technology too. So just try to marry it all. And it's wonderful to be a part of this big umbrella company that we are under. So I don't know. So I hang out here. I get to mentor a lot of people who are new into our profession. You can be old or young, it doesn't matter. I was new into it. I was in my 40s when I joined it, right, into the profession. So if you're new into the profession and you want to have a good head start in how to succeed, then you need to hang around some of us who've been around in the business of sales for many, many years, because we'll teach you that the phone call and the face-to-face is the best way to do business. People like to call the words cold calling, but we say, no. You're talking about real estate. They own real estate. You're not cold calling. They're just getting to meet you finally. That's all. So you got to do it. It's not all about, hey, I need leads off of these websites and all this stuff. It's all about you and you getting together and getting it done. It's all about relationships. So
obviously you're good at relationships. If you've grown from zero, less than 3 years ago to, 700 agents, something you're doing is right. Obviously.
Something I'm doing?
I'm going to say it's you, because I think everyone's under you from what I understand.
We've taken how the commercial industry has existed for many, many years. I don't know, 100 years, whatever. And we said, you know what? We are an agent-centric company. We are the monies that come into our company, we're a publicly traded company. The money that comes into all of our companies underneath this umbrella comes back to us. They call it revenue share. We try, our leadership tries the best to get the money back in our hands. I mean, and reward us for helping the company grow. That's a beautiful thing. You don't really have that in the commercial environment. And then, gosh, just starting out, just the simple, how do you get paid by your company when you have a deal done? I mean, it's pretty amazing where our, what they call commission splits exist these days. We start out at 80-20. And every year you start over again at 80-20. And sometime during that 12-month cycle, you get to a certain level of GCI, which is only 100,000. Then all of a sudden you go to 100-0 commission split with the company. It's pretty amazing. So
yeah, it is a good model.
Probably helps with the growth,
It's a good model. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in kind of a direction I'm sure you didn't prepare for. It just hit me. Yeah, nice. And we're product agnostic, or I should say brokerage agnostic. We work with a ton of different real estate agents and brokerages. Okay. We have over 2,000 people in EXP who've called into us, or at least who we've got their email addresses, or our clients, by the way. And a lot of them are, frankly, they don't deal with commercial. They're only residential. Maybe a small percentage are commercial. But now, what would you say to the people who are residential, meaning the EXP agents or whatever, any brokerage, Sotheby's as an example, but they want to make the kind of the move into commercial real estate as a broker or an agent? What would you say to them?
They have. I'm going to tell you, it's two different professions. That's the first thing. So you got to make a commitment. What profession do you want to work in? Because it's two different worlds. It really is. The mentality and how you go about doing business is two different worlds. However, with the latest going on when it comes to lawsuits and NAR and commission discussions, sellers, buyers, and all that, all that kind of leads towards what we've always done in commercial. In commercial, we've worked for our client. It didn't matter if they were the seller or the buyer, if they were the tenant or the landlord. Our expectations were, that's our client. That's probably who we're going to get paid from. Mm-hmm. So that's something new, that coming from the residential world, that really exists. We say, yeah, it's almost a norm, in our world. Your client is who you're working with. There's not an expectation I'm going to get money from that listing agent over there because I brought a buyer. My expectation is, and my buyer's expectation is, they're working with me. Mm-hmm. That's normal in commercial. I'm just going to tell you that. All right. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. In the mentality world. Second thing is, the residential world, for the most part, they work with consumers. Mm-hmm. Well, that brings up a whole bunch of whatevers, right? I work with this consumer. I don't work with a company. I don't work with an entity, a business entity, a corporation, LLC. I'm working with a consumer, which means there are things I got to do, paperwork wise, legally. I'm working with a consumer. Where on this side of the coin, you're doing business. I mean, your clients are business people. They understand what it is they're doing on day one for the most part. And it's a whole different world. You just got to learn. You got to adjust your thought process of how do you do business. And I really think our world's easier than residential. I really do.
You really do, huh?
Yeah. When you deal with a consumer, think about you and me. If we go out there and buy somewhere we want to live, you know what? Our goofy emotions get in the middle of it.
Okay.
And a residential expert, I mean, they got to deal with that emotion. Now, I'm sure those very successful ones have that handled. They know how to handle emotion and people, But to me, that's hard, And then on top of that, the hours, most of that industry, especially starting out, they work a lot, Kenner. They work weekends, they work nights because when are their clients available? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that's hard. In our world, our clients are in business and they're available Monday through Friday all day long. We get to work with them. Now we can work on the weekends and nights all we want internally for ourselves, our databases, whatever. But as far as clients, they're not around. They take off on weekends. They're off. They're done working. Right. So I don't know. I just think the residential is harder than commercial. when it comes to your everyday dealing with people. How's that sound?
So what about money? Let's say I'm a residential, whatever, Sotheby's agent. Can I make more money doing commercial on average, let's say?
You could, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're dealing with the luxury world, you're dealing with the same numbers we deal with. 60% of the commercial industry deals are between 500,000 and 2 million in GCI. Not in GCI, I mean in selling price.
Okay.
500,000 to 2 million, that's 60% of most deals. That's what keeps getting thrown out there the last several years.
Okay.
Well, if you're in luxury residential, that might be a piece of cake for you because you deal with $10 million homes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can make more money there. But on average, yes, this is where we deal. And then we got the other 40% that's above that. And then, well, not all of it because you got the parts underneath 500,000. That's a lot of basic, leases, residential leases, office leases.
Yep.
It's a 3-year lease. It might not make it to 500,000, right? Yep. Not even close. Yeah. So, yeah, but don't think that just because you're not in commercial, you're missing out on a bunch of money. It's all about your relationships and what you do. That's all it really is.
So let's say I'm a residential agent and I want to start getting into commercial and I'll be blunt. Let's say I want to get a hold of you and be a part of your community. Is that possible?
It is, but you got to make a commitment. You got to leave your residential community because, my time is spent with our professionals that are inside EXP Commercial. They're not in residential. They're in EXP Commercial.
So if I want to be a part of your community, I have to be with EXP?
If you want me to be around.
Got it.
Yeah. No, you don't have to. You can go find other commercial people out there who may be willing to mentor you or coach you as you slowly get evolve into it. But always keep in mind, you got to pick your profession. You won't stay where you are. If you're going to be that superstar, it makes no sense. I mean, if I want to be a superstar in residential, then I would leave commercial completely and get into luxury.
Got it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. I totally got it. So then how do I get a hold of you? Let's say I do want to be a EXP guy or girl. How do I get a hold of you?
You call me. You can text me. You can call me. I love talking. You can Zoom with me. That's how you reach me.
What's your phone number?
It's 205-451-8889.
Awesome. And what's your website as an example?
Oh, well, I actually have one out there for myself, which isn't always just to emphasize, it's not all about me in commercial. It's all about the company I'm with in commercial. It really is. I mean, the clients that are going to be coming to you down the road because you're a national company or you're a global company, they're looking for EXP Commercial. Then they're going to say, hey, who's an EXP Commercial? And then you hope that people will toss out my name, right, Kenner?
I understand.
But my website that is me, and it does mirror a lot about expcommercial.com's website, is the Andrews Group Alabama.
Spell Andrews
Group Alabama.com.
And how do you spell Andrews, just in case?
I spell it Andrews.
Got it. Okay. And what about email? Can someone email you?
Yeah, they might be able to do that, Kenner. What do you think?
what's your email if you want people to contact
you? It's keith.andrews@expcommercial.com.
Okay. So since we're talking about EXP, now I understand that if they're dealing with you or if they want to be kind of under you, they have to go through EXP. I have a question. Now, some of our people might, I'm going to say most of our people really do know EXP on the residential side. So let's say they're an agent on the residential side. Is the commercial side quite similar as far as the caps and as far as the the rev share or revenue share, as they call it at EXP?
Well, the rev share works for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're staff, if you're EXP Realty, if you're EXP Commercial, if you're Verbella. I'm pretty sure I think they get rev share as well. I think Success Lending, there's some kind of rev shares going on there, whatever, the success stuff. But yeah, the model itself, it's just that if it's commercial, it's a little bit higher payment on the successes of your people. So the people I brought in, they're like on my first tier of my organization. And as they do production in the commercial world, they could possibly create enough money going into the company where the company will pay me out of that money $3,200 a year for those guys, just for them reaching their what they call their capping goal, where they go from 80-20 to 100-0 split for the rest of their cycle. And so it's $3,200. It's $3,200 in commercial, where I think in residential it's $2,800. At the second tier, like they bring people in. It'd be their first tier, but for me, it's my second tier because my people brought people in, help us grow the company. Those people I could make up to $4,000 each 12-month cycle if they cap, or whatever you want to call that. Yeah, cap.
Yeah, I get like that.
In the commercial world, is not used to that term capping when it comes to commissions. They're used to the word cap, CAP. It's capitalization rate when it comes to investing.
Yeah, it's still, yeah.
They're not used. So a lot of times we have to talk. Look, for your first 100,000 GCI you turn into the company, you're going to gross 80,000 of that. At that next dollar after that, you're going to gross almost $100 of that, or 100% of that. So, okay. So I go to 100-0 split when I make it to 100,000 GCI. Well, most commercial companies don't have anything close to that. I mean, you might have to get to 300,000 GCI to go from a 50-50 to 60-40, in commercial. It's just a different world. So
yeah, I think people are, I'm going to put words in someone's mouth. I think people are intimidated by the commercial world. That's my personal thought. When it's in general, I think it makes more sense to go commercial because you're not working on weekends. You're making more money. The relationship, it's more of a senior level or elite relationship. I think it makes a lot of sense to go to commercial without a doubt.
I'll reemphasize, I think it's harder to try to help people find a house because of their emotions than it is to deal in anything commercial. I promise. I just know this.
Yep. So, I get it. So at the outset, you said you can teach about sales. Give me a little bit of help on that. What do you mean by that?
It's all about relationships. You just got to meet people. It's not about who you know. It's all about who knows you. That's been my phrase for several years now. What did I just say, Kenner?
Yeah, it's all about relationships, 100%. I think that's true.
It's all about who knows you.
And what I would say is you are a relationship guy. I know you're a good guy. I mean, I've heard many people say good things about you, and I think that's why you probably have grown, because you're a good relationship guy. If you say something, it holds true. It's fact.
Yeah. So the idea is, the more people know about you and what you're doing, and they meet you, and at the same time, like Glenn Sanford said at the beginning of this year, when he said, if you don't know what to focus on, just go help people succeed. Just go help them succeed. It'll come back at you. It really will. So even though they know you, Kenner, they also know you as somebody that says, you know what, you're asking me a question about commercial real estate. I got somebody you need to connect up with. And so you're helping Keith. And so I will remember that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how it works. It's all about relationships.
Now tell us about
as a salesperson, you gotta call. You gotta reach out to owners of buildings immediately. Day one, you gotta start calling, and you gotta start calling several other groups of people. I put them all in 7 groups, and it all makes sense.
So wait a minute. What did you say about 7 groups? What do you mean by that?
Take everybody on the planet. You can put them, but I wouldn't say that. You can put people in 7 different groups in order to grow your business. You want to know those groups?
Yeah, that's funny. You just threw that in there in passing. Yeah, go ahead.
I do this with everybody that, that I try to help succeed.
Okay.
Because of who we are, we're in EXP Commercial. There's probably 3 groups of people that need to know you immediately. Notice I said they need to know you immediately. Okay. We have this huge opportunity. We got 80-something thousand, or maybe almost 80,000 U.S. based, maybe a little less than that, because the rest of them are around the rest of the world, of EXP Realty agents, residential agents. They have clients. Okay. We have residential agents from all the other companies in the same town that you're in. They have clients. who do they refer their clients to when their clients say, I need commercial help?
Well, ultimately, I'm going to say, hopefully, it's Keith.
That's the first group, residential agents. More
Okay, I got you.
importantly, the
Yeah.
EXP ones, because you're EXP Commercial, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. The second group, right away, same moment in time, is everybody else in commercial real estate, inside and outside of EXP, in your marketplace.
Okay.
They have the inventory. You don't have any listings, but they got the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be wonderful when somebody at EXP Realty says, Keith, you got to help my client here? And I say, great. And I can turn around and reach out to all these commercial people saying, I got this person needing this,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have the inventory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting started, right?
Yeah.
So residential people need to know you. The commercial people need to know you because they got the inventory, and they love you because you're bringing them clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
They love you. The third set that right away is the inventory. All those owners of properties in your marketplace need to have a conversation with you. They need to know you exist. So when you call them again and you say, hey, guess what? I'm sorry to bug you. I know last time I talked to you, you didn't want to sell your building. This is a year later. I don't know, but I have an actual buyer who wants to buy a building just like yours.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk? You know,
Mm-hmm.
those three groups need to know you instantaneously,
Okay.
which is impossible. You just got to do it, right? You got to do it every day. You got to
Get your name out there. Get out there. Yeah.
Fourth group, municipalities.
What?
Whatever elected official, appointed official, economic development person, whatever's in your local area or your state or your county, those people who affect the economy, they create the laws, they create the zoning, they create the planning and all that stuff, right? For their town or their county or their state, right? They need to know who you are. Now, if they know who you are, then you know them too, and you have a chance to reach out to them and say, look, what is it you want to do here for the next 10 years? Show me your new a zoning overlay, because that affects everything you're going to do in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
It does you no good to go and try to sell this piece of land to somebody when the zoning and planning will never approve that change.
Okay.
Does you no good. These people know, and they will reach out to you when they understand behind the scenes that somebody huge is going to be moving, 250 jobs to town. But they're not allowed to talk about that yet. Who's this company coming down creating new jobs and stuff? They're going to reach out to their real estate people they know and say, hey, look, we got to find 300-400 acres of something, blah blah. They're going to reach out to you, right?
Yep.
That's just an example. So that's four people. That's they need to know you, right?
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready for 5, 6, 7.
We're going to run out of time here. We got like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. This is good though. Keep going.
Okay. Fifth one is your past. What did you used to do? All those people need to know what you're doing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had one person tell me that they actually reached out to a boss that they never got along with like 10 years ago or whatever.
Mm.
And when they reached out to that boss and started talking about commercial real estate, that ex-boss started talking to that person about needing help.
Wow. Yeah. Totally.
So, your past and what I would say your which would be like your past clients you had at whatever. I mean, I was in telecom. I did it around the world. I still got databases of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move into a new country, and I think, okay, I know people there in France. When we went into France, I know some people in France that might need to talk to and stuff. You never know, right? It's just, you just do that. Now, see, that's not immediate. The immediate would be the people here that you used to hang around with, the people you used to work with in your other world you were in, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then you've got, and you can throw your past clients in there as well, right? So just throw them in there. Then you've got your current sphere of influence.
Wait a minute. Is this number 6? Now we're on number 6?
Number 6, yeah. Your current sphere of influence. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't know. You probably go to church somewhere. Hey, you probably go to school somewhere. Hey, you go to that grocery store, or hey, you're in that nonprofit, or you coach Little League, whatever, or I don't know, or you're in sport. I don't know, whatever. The people around you that influence you or you influence them. The ones in your now time, not your past clients, not your current clients are, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then the seventh group is pretty critical. Okay. I don't know how else to call it other than ancillary services.
Ancillary services to commercial real estate,
Commercial
or
real estate, period.
oh,
There, but you say I'll give you an example. We have this purchase agreement, and it has it has a lot of little things inside these paragraphs that it's called due diligence. Things a buyer needs to do for them to be satisfied with that property, things a seller might need to do to be, to make things move forward. Well, you got to have those relationships. Your basic ones are attorneys, engineers, bankers, lenders. Um, but the engineering firms cover a whole bunch of stuff.
mm-hmm.
But who else is ancillary? I don't know. Contractors, general contractors, subcontractors. If you're somebody that affects that property somehow, some way, or that building you're going to build, or what you're going to demolish, or whatever, a road paver, anybody, because they could be a source of referrals to you, and vice versa. You could refer them to jobs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny.
those are my 7 groups.
And when you, it's funny how you kind of threw that under the rug by just said, oh, seven groups. But I get it now, because when you first said me as let's say I'm a real estate agent, typical real estate agent, let's say at EXP, Sotheby's, or whatever, and then all of a sudden, if I want to go into commercial, you're saying you got to leave the residential behind. Kind of scared me. I was thinking,
get it out of your head.
Yeah, but and with the groups that you just mentioned, those 7 groups, you can totally get a bunch of referrals and then get bigger deals because they're commercial, just based on the 7 groups that you threw out. It totally makes sense what you said. It really does.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that I'm making sense once in a while. I'm just not everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can be. There's so much I want people to know. Sometimes I can't just put it out in a simple statement or something.
I totally get it. Once again, in closing, how did someone get a hold of you?
Calling's a real good way. It really is. Unless you're in Alabama, come on by the office.
You're such a sweet dude. All right. Once again, what's your phone number?
205-451-8889. Here's a little tidbit. If you're getting into commercial and you're getting into a global company like EXP Commercial, and you're going to think beyond your local market, learn the 24-hour clock.
There you go.
You got to know it. And learn that since you're in a global company, you always, in your emails, in anything you do or say, mention the time zone you're referencing. Don't just say a time. It doesn't work.
That makes total sense, because I think commercial is a bigger deal, global, et cetera. Plus, we're a global economy now, too,
Oh, well, we have been ever since, they came over from, Europe to check out this new wilderness called North America. It's been global.
Yeah. Wow.
Took longer back then.
Dude, I don't want to take too much time. Dude, I could take